It's commonplace for businesses or brands to have a customer service philosophy. Chances are you even have one yourself. But what about a leadership philosophy? In this video, I'm going to talk about what it means to have a leadership philosophy and why it's so important. Are you looking to improve your feedback, communication, and overall leadership skills? If so, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell to be notified when I post new content. Not long ago, I was talking with a group of mid-level managers at an organization, and when I asked them about their agency's leadership philosophy, my question was met with a very long pause and some looks of confusion. And ultimately, what they shared was that there really wasn't one set leadership philosophy, that it just depended upon the supervisor. That some supervisors were more laid back, easygoing, really encouraged employee autonomy, and other supervisors were much more hands-on and controlling and perhaps even micromanaging. So, in short, an employee's experience really depended upon the supervisor they happened to be assigned to. You may be nodding your head in agreement and thinking, well, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds pretty typical. However, while this may be typical and commonplace, it is not healthy or ideal. I mean, of course, every manager should have their own personality, their unique personality brought to the table. Of course, I wouldn't advocate for a group of robotic manager minions. Of course, they should have their own unique personality. But there's a big difference between personality and leadership philosophy and style. Each organization or team should have a unified leadership philosophy, a unified leadership approach. And this is true for both small businesses and large corporations. An employee's experience with an agency shouldn't vary drastically based upon the supervisor they happen to be assigned. Still not quite sure what I mean? Let's circle back to the idea of a customer service philosophy. Again, most businesses have a customer service philosophy. And while each employee is going to bring their unique personality to the job, to the task, whether that's in a retail environment, a customer service representative for an agency, whatever the case may be, each employee is going to bring their personality to the job, but the overall customer experience should be consistent. You wouldn't expect one customer when they call in to get maybe the shining star and have a wonderful experience, but then the next customer that calls in happens to get a customer service rep that is really just having a bad day or is really poor at their job and has a terrible experience. Of course, that does happen, but you wouldn't think that that's okay. As the owner of a business or a leader, you would address that. You wouldn't accept that that's an okay situation for one customer to have a vastly different experience than another. You would have a set expectation for what a customer's experience should be. And so I would advocate the same would be true for leadership philosophy. Again, of course, there's going to be bad days and good days, and I'm not saying that there's going to be a utopia, but the idea, the expectation should be that an employee's experience, that they should expect a similar level of support and leadership style across the board. And it is the responsibility of agency leaders, those at the top, but also other leaders within the organization, to set that tone for leadership, to set those expectations. The leader should take time to cultivate a shared understanding of what positive and empowering leadership looks like within the organization. I encourage you to take the time to develop guiding principles and really cultivate a leadership philosophy. Not sure how to start? I've got you covered, and here are some prompts to help you develop your leadership philosophy. First, what are your core values as leaders? Or if you are a solopreneur and working on your own, what are your core values as a leader? How do you believe all employees should be treated? How should leaders handle issues when they arise? How will you celebrate the wins? Shared philosophy will provide a crucial measure of support for your leaders. They won't feel like they're just trying to wing it or figure it out as they go. They'll have this roadmap with these shared values to guide them along the way. And it's also going to make for a more positive work environment for the rest of your team, because they'll know what to expect. They'll understand what to expect from their leaders. These shared values are really just going to help support everyone. And again, even if you're a small business owner and perhaps the only boss on the team, I still encourage you to be intentional about cultivating a leadership philosophy and answer those questions. It'll really help you have a clear vision about how you want to lead your team. In addition to an organization developing their shared leadership philosophy, there's a lot of value in developing your own personal leadership philosophy. And you can do that using the prompts I just mentioned a few moments ago, but you can also take it a bit further and be a little more specific as you develop your own personal leadership philosophy. Of course, if you are in an organization, you need to make sure that your own leadership philosophy doesn't conflict with what the larger company has said will be the shared leadership philosophy. But maybe you're not in a formal leadership position and you want to start cultivating your own leadership philosophy. Or again, you are in a leadership role, but you still want to take that time and develop a personal leadership philosophy. I recommend that you do that. Again, just making sure that doesn't conflict with the larger group philosophy. And here are some prompts that I lead participants in the Courageous Leaders Academy. I lead them through this exercise in developing their own personal leadership philosophy. The first prompt is to list 3 to 4 core values. So these are your own personal core values. List 3 to 5 of them. Next, how will you inspire your team members? And how will you inspire your coworkers? Next, how will you respond to mistakes or difficult situations? And this can even be mistakes or difficult situations from yourself or from other team members. And last, what behaviors will you not tolerate from yourself or others? What are things that are just non-negotiable? Have you done an exercise like this before where you've worked to develop your own personal leadership philosophy? Or have you worked for a company that has done this, that has taken the steps to have a shared leadership philosophy? If so, post in the comments below and let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Want to learn even more about how to build your leadership skills and specifically how to cultivate a feedback culture within your team? You can download my free guide. Just click the link in the video description below. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, be sure to hit that like button below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I'd love to hear about your core values, your leadership core values and philosophy. Please post that in the comments below as well. You can check out my other videos on how to receive and process feedback and the 5 components of effective feedback. Thanks again for watching. Be well and be courageous.